Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
History is made in Washington, D.C. with Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's confirmation. Lawmakers have mixed reactions to the future Supreme Court justice.
The prosecution rests its case in the Floyd Brown murder trial. Brown takes the stand in his own defense.
And a local nonprofit supports kids who are vulnerable to child abuse. Public transportation helps the groups drive for change. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson.
The U.S. Senate makes history. Just more than half of senators voted to confirm Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson to the Supreme Court.
While Democrats celebrate, some Republicans believe Jackson is too partisan to rule fairly. Anna Warnicki recaps the vote and has a roundup of reaction from the nation's capital.
On this vote, the yeas are 53. The nays are 47.
With Vice President Kamala Harris presiding and all 100 senators present, the Senate confirmed Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson to be the 116th Justice of the United States Supreme Court.
This nomination is confirmed.
The news brought cheers from Democrats.
In the 233-year history of the Supreme Court, never has a black woman held the title of justice.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says Jackson is opening the door for future generations of black women to follow in her footsteps.
I'm ecstatic.
But while Democrats celebrated, Republicans criticized the entire confirmation process for being too partisan.
President Biden made a political choice.
Only 3 Republicans joined Democrats to confirm Jackson. Texas Senator Ted Cruz says he voted no because he doesn't think her record as a trial judge makes her a good fit for the high court.
I believe her record indicates that she will be ideologically substantially to the left of any justice to ever serve on the court.
Judge Jackson, who will replace retiring Justice Stephen Breyer later this year, watched the votes roll in with a visibly emotional President Biden at the White House.
We will hear more from President Biden on Jackson's confirmation from the White House tomorrow at noon.
The U.S. Senate also looked at legislation today to increase pressure on Russia. 2 bills would revoke normal trade status with Russia and ban Russian energy imports. Following the Senate, both bills will need to be approved again in the House. President Biden is expected to sign the bill shortly after they pass Congress. Some Democrats and Republicans disagree on the U.S. approach to the crisis so far, but they both say Ukrainians need help.
Putin must absolutely be held accountable for the detestable and despicable war crimes he is committing against Ukraine.
A lot of us who collectively believe that the administration is not doing enough, and we're looking for a lot of ways to get weapons to the Ukrainians.
The UN estimates more than 1,600 civilians have been killed in Ukraine, though they say the actual number is considerably higher.
The United Nations also votes to suspend Russia from the World Trade Organization's the World Organization's top human rights body. The UN General Assembly temporarily removed Russia from the Human Rights Council. That's reaction to, quote, systematic violations and abuses of human rights during the invasion of Ukraine. 93 member countries voted in favor, 24 voted no, 58 abstained. Jurors hear from more witnesses in the federal murder trial against Floyd Brown.
Brown's charged with killing Deputy Jacob Keltner outside a Rockford hotel in 2019. Keltner was part of a task force serving Brown a warrant.
The government rested its case earlier this afternoon. Then Brown took the stand in his own defense. Rachel Perry has been in court each day and wraps things up for us.
Nearing the end of the trial, Floyd Brown takes the stand. Brown testified to several encounters with law enforcement that he describes as negative and targeted, also getting emotional, explaining his rough upbringing. In one incident, he says he tried defending his mom against his uncle, but was hit in the head with a baseball bat by his uncle, saying he had emergency brain surgery. Brown testified that his uncle was charged with attempted murder, but let out on parole, saying it made him feel like, quote, my black life didn't matter, end quote. About 30 minutes into his testimony, Brown details his side of what happened March 7th, 2019. Reporting in Rockford for your home team, I'm Rachel Perry.
Court just wrapped up for the day. Closing arguments are expected to start tomorrow. Rachel will have a live report from the courthouse coming up at 6.
A Rockford father pleads for the safe return of his young daughter a year after she disappeared. Cassius Avery says he hasn't seen or heard from his 3-year-old daughter, Cachet, since April 6th last year. He says Cachet's mom left with her after someone assaulted Avery at a park near his Rockford home. 1 year ago today, Avery filed an order of protection against the woman. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children is helping in the search for Cachet.
An advocacy group rallies for kids at the Illinois Capitol after months of controversy within the state's Department of Children and Family Services. The group Roar for AJ was formed in honor of 5-year-old AJ Friend. His parents both pled guilty to beating him to death 3 years ago. His mother, Joanne Cunningham, has asked a court to reconsider her 35-year prison sentence. She says she was suffering from postpartum depression at the time.
A Rockford area agency's mission every day is protecting kids. In April, that cause gets a little extra attention.
Nikel Delgado was able to talk with the organizers. And Nikel?
Eric, Mimi, while this month is highlighting child abuse awareness, it's happening all year around to children right here in the state line. But we can be a part of the solution.
What we know is that when families are supported and families have their basic needs met, what they're able to do then is thrive, and thriving families create thriving communities.
Helping those in need, Children's Home and Aid serves over 30,000 families and children throughout the state. Thursday, they asked for help from the community.
A lot of families who have experienced generational things that have happened, and what our goal is to really help support and coach young families.
They set up outside the Target on East State Street to stuff the bus, collecting basic items for infants and children while raising awareness against child abuse.
Encourage families to sort of vent their frustrations, get some breaks here and there so that they never get to a point where we see children getting hurt.
Being a parent can be a hard job, but as a community, we can help prevent child abuse by helping support families in crisis.
Set a good foundation even before their children are born, that we can avoid some of those separations that happen over time, children being removed and spending time in foster care.
Experts say if a child comes to you with an abuse claim, believe them. You don't have to be a professional or trained. Just ask questions.
But really just being that safe person that families can connect to or children can trust, that's probably the most basic thing that you can do, is just be somebody safe for a child to be able to connect with.
If you know someone who is being abused, there is help available. We have an entire section dedicated to State Line Strong on our website. Head over to mystateline.com for a list of resources. Eric?
Thanks, Nikel. Coming up, aviation and adult beverages make the perfect pair for one State Line business. We take you to a newly opened facility tied to a rich history next.
And tonight at 6, a bipartisan effort in Springfield loosens up COVID rules in nursing homes. Individual facilities can make the call on visitors.
It's been a cold rain that has been coming down over the last couple of hours. Temperatures well below that average of 56. Tomorrow, another cool and rainy day. We've got a few flurries to kind of time out as well. More on that and a warm up into next week, all coming up a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
A State Line distillery takes inspiration from the air as it opens a new facility. Barnstormers opened a tasting and cocktail room in an airplane hangar. The facility is near the Rockford Airport on a 22-acre property. Barnstormer grows its own ingredients used in a cold distilling process. Owners say picking this location was an easy choice.
So to build an airplane hangar, it resonates with not only our lifelong career, it pays homage to our rich heritage, Rockford's rich heritage, to the aviation world.
The new tasting room will be open every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday year-round. One of the company's vodka bottles is connected to another piece of local history. It features the airplane Greater Rockford, which you can see at the Midway Village Museum.
Midway Village also is working on a permanent home for a story of a World War-era training center. The museum's opened collections for their upcoming Camp Grant exhibit. The city of Rockford brought the Army camp to Rockford Airport in 1916. Hundreds of thousands of soldiers trained there during the World Wars and developed the city's infrastructure. The museum wants to preserve Camp Grant's history, which they say is relatively unknown.
It's really a story that hasn't been told in the Rockford region. Had a ton of impact. It was developed for World War I, then re-engaged for World War II, also had POWs. Really a great part of Rockford's history.
The museum is still working on the design of the exhibit and a fundraiser to help with the development. If you have family stories or artifacts related to Camp Grant, you can add them to the collection on the museum's website.
We are heading farther into spring, but the temperatures are pulling back a little bit.
Candace talks about a cooling trend and possible snow showers. That's coming up in the forecast when we come back.
And the Cubs have already raised the W flag at Wrigley Field. Scott has their opening day highlights.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, today's kind of been a good day to stay inside. Maybe eat something hearty, right? Like a potato soup or some chili with our temperatures that have been in the 40s. We've had a little bit of sunshine here and there, but mostly dealing with the cloud cover for this afternoon. And from that, we've had scattered rain showers, actually increase in coverage. A shower moving just to the north here, the Park Hills Golf Course out in Freeport on our Mercy House SkyTrack camera. The wind also blowing around quite a bit. You've got a few light showers just to the west of Rockford. Here's that shower working in towards the Freeport area. A little steadier rainfall maybe in around the Pearl City region. This activity becoming a little more scattered. I wouldn't be surprised too if you actually get a little grapple kind of coming down with some of those showers. Remember, it's almost like hail, but it's like a softer hail pellet just because our freezing level is so low in the atmosphere. This is all thanks to that large and slow moving low pressure system moving across central Wisconsin. And you see these kind of pieces of energy rotating around that, which has really allowed that precipitation to blossom here for much of this afternoon. And yeah, temperatures are cold enough that we could get a couple of snow flurries to mix in. That'll be later tonight and into the morning tomorrow. At 46 in Rockford, 45 in Freeport, 42 in Monroe. But when you factor in that wind, our wind chill numbers this evening are down in the 30s. We had about 5/100ths of an inch of rain for Ben in South Beloit. Current temperature at 41. Cloudy skies, about a trace of rain for Mike north of Forreston, and 44 for our weather watcher Ken out in Belvedere. Temperatures tonight will drop down to about 33 degrees as we see that number fall into the lower 30s. That's when we could get a couple of snowflakes mixing in through the overnight and then into early tomorrow. This is not going to give us an accumulation, but in some spots there may just be a very light dusting on some of the grassy surfaces. A few more rain showers will mix in. Another cooler afternoon as temperatures settle on either side of that 40-degree mark. Average high should be in the mid-50s, so well below that. We hang on to those scattered showers again as our temperatures drop back here just before sunrise tomorrow. You have a few flurries, a couple of light snow showers mixing in. Those will rotate down to the south. We see a little more scattered activity kind of blossom up for tomorrow afternoon as we're back in the upper 30s and low 40s. We do hang on to the cloud cover for most of Friday night and I think for the first half of Saturday. So don't expect sunshine to start us off for the weekend. We'll keep that cloud cover around probably through the better part of the morning and into most of the afternoon, not really clearing out until we get into Saturday night, and that will play a role in our temperature, most likely staying in the mid-40s for Saturday. Now we have that warm up going into next week. Jet stream pattern. We've got our jet stream coming in from the southwest. You get a big dip in the jet stream out to the west. What that's going to do underneath that, you get kind of this stationary boundary that sets up as a result of that. With that boundary, this could lead to several rounds of showers and thunderstorms, most specifically between about Monday and Tuesday of next week before our temperatures warm into Wednesday. But those numbers, guys, are going to cool right back off. So we get a brief warm up into next week following our cool down. 41 tomorrow, 46 on Saturday, 58 on Sunday. Slight chance for a shower late in the day Sunday night, and then you have a better chance for some scattered showers, thunderstorms going into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as well. And then we see those numbers drop and fall back below average by the end of next week.
So even though they don't stick around, we will enjoy the 60s and close to 70 for the few days that we have them.
Yes, for sure.
Thanks, Candace.
Scott's in next with sports.
The Cubs have made a good first impression in their season opener. We'll look back at how they took down the Brewers at Wrigley.
Now sports with sports director Scott Leber.
The opening day weather at Wrigley Field was brutal, but the outcome was perfect for Cubs fans. The Cubs not only got a win, but it came against the team picked to win the NL Central again, the Brewers. Seiya Suzuki made his Wrigley Field debut, and the crowd already loves him. Standing ovation for his first at bat. He drew a walk that time up. In his second at bat, this is how he led off the fifth inning. Base hit. So the crowd loving that. That's out of the way now, and he makes sure to save that baseball. Suzuki later scored on a sac fly. Nico Horner got the fans on their feet once again. This happened in the fifth inning. Hit his first home run since September of 2019, a 2-run shot. The Cubs led 3-1. The Brewers, though, came back to tie it at 3. But Ian Hampton gave the Cubs a lead right back. Bottom of the seventh, he mashes one off Jake Cousins that'll hit off the wall. 2 runners scored. It was 5-3 Cubs. The Brewers closed the gap to 5-4. Bottom of the ninth now, David Robertson on in the closer's role. Facing Christian Yelich and strikes him out. One more batter to go. It's Andrew McCutchen. He hits the ground ball to Horner at short. And the Cubs waste no time getting in the win column. They defeat the Brewers 5-4. And they'll play again tomorrow afternoon. In St. Louis, the Cardinals lead the Pirates 4-0 in the sixth inning. Adam Wainwright is pitching the shutout. The White Sox open their season tomorrow afternoon in Detroit, although the weather forecast does not look good. Hopefully they'll play ball. Lucas Giolito will start for the Sox. Eduardo Rodriguez will pitch for the Tigers. Well, Tiger Woods is off to a very good start at the Masters. He shot a 71 today. That puts him 1 stroke under par. At the moment, Sungjae Im is in the lead at 5 under through 15 holes. Cameron Smith is in the clubhouse at 4 under. Dustin Johnson is 4 under through 13 holes. Scottie Scheffler, the world's #1 ranked player, is one of several golfers tied at 3 under par. That's sports. We'll be right back.
Candace will have another look at that forecast coming up in just a moment.
But first, here's what News Nation has planned for later.
Washington elites getting sick with COVID. Does that mean more lockdowns are on the way? Plus, more sanctions are supposed to stop Putin. So why are they costing you more money than the Russian president? That's On Balance. Here's Dan Abrams.
Thanks, Leland. Tonight on Dan Abrams Live on News Nation. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki preparing for her new gig in media. But now staffers at her reported new network are upset that she could taint their brand. Because what? They aren't overtly liberal already? That's tonight on Dan Abrams Live.
That's all coming up on the fastest growing cable news network in America. News Nation is available on the cable and satellite channels that you see listed here. You can also head to newsnation.com.
Candace is back with that forecast. Yesterday, she showed us the 7-day with that 70 on the end. We were all happy.
70 is still there. And now the big reveal, as we add more days to the 7-day, we are not so excited about.
It's still there. You're right. So, I mean, that's something to be excited about. Yeah, but kind of getting beyond. We'll probably
You're
see
like the movie Catch Me If You Can. Look at the pinstripes. Watch, distract them with the pinstripes. So our pinstripes, our temperature's close to 70.
Sometimes you have to do that in weather, right? You have to focus on the good and distract it with the good before you reveal some of the not so good. All right, we've got a couple of scattered showers out there this evening. Bless you. The first warn interactive radar. Up and down weather here. We're down for tomorrow, low 40s. You got a couple of flurries that mix in here later tonight and early tomorrow. And then you see a little bit of the scattered rain activity for tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures near 46 on Saturday. We're in the 50s on Sunday. And then we'll watch that warm front next week. Could bring us some heavier rainfall at times and some thunderstorms as well.
Yikes. All right. Thanks, Candace.
And thank you for spending some of your time with us. Stay safe.